Speaker, with his comedy routine, I was going to say that he shouldn't quit his day job, but actually, he should quit his day job.
Today's House of Commons showdown was hotter than a summer barbecue. Pretty hilarious, if you ask me. Picture this. Trudeau's up there, trying to spin his usual yarn about saving the world with his carbon tax, when suddenly, like a political wrecking ball, Pierre Poilievre steps into the ring. And let me tell you folks, Pierre wasn't pulling any punches. He hit Trudeau with a verbal haymaker so hard, even the Liberals were left speechless. It was like watching a masterclass in political smackdowns, and Pierre was the undisputed champ. But the fun didn't stop there. Oh no, we had Trudeau squirming in his seat as Pierre laid out the cold hard truth about Liberal corruption and incompetence. From money laundering scandals to housing crisis, Pierre was serving up truth bombs faster than Trudeau could stutter with his ums and uhs. And let's not forget about the CBC funding fiasco. Trudeau was like a deer in headlights, desperately trying to defend the indefensible while Pierre tore him to shreds with facts and logic. We're diving into the clip. Stay tuned as we check it out and share our thoughts as it unfolds.
Mr. Speaker, the NDP leader was just asking about why the Prime Minister gave tens of millions of dollars in corporate handouts to powerful grocery chains. So the answer, of course, is that he voted to let the Prime Minister do that. Not a single penny of that money could have gone without the vote of the NDP coalition partner. But we learned something else, that this might have been due to the influence of the NDP leader's spokesman and brother, whose company is a lobbyist for Metro. Would the Prime Minister...
Whoa, talk about a conflict of interest for Jagmeet.
NDP leader's spokesman and brother has been unduly influencing the leader of the NDP.
Let's see how he defends Jagmeet's corruption.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we can see very clearly that all the stories out about the lobbyists' connections with the Leader of the Opposition are actually hurting the Leader of the Opposition, which is why he's asking...
He almost said the truth there.
Opportunity right now, Mr. Speaker, to make it clear that he stands with Canadians and stands to ask the wealthiest to pay a little more by announcing now that he will support our measure on increasing the capital gains imposition on Canadians, asking the wealthiest to pay a little bit more. He has dodged that question since the budget came out. Does he support the increase on the capital gains inclusion rate?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, I do support the Prime Minister paying more tax on the trust fund where he sheltered all of his money. Absolutely. He doesn't enforce...
Ouch. Those are hard-hitting facts.
He won't put them into a budget bill. But one tax he is increasing is the carbon tax on food. He's doing it with the help of the NDP. We already have the second highest carbon tax in the entire developed world. And yet, if the NDP Liberal government is re-elected, they plan to quadruple that tax to 61 cents a litre on the farmers and truckers who bring us our food. How will Canadians afford to eat, heat, and house themselves?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Once again, Canadians saw that he avoided pronouncing on whether or not he supports our increase to the capital gains inclusions rate. But in regards to his deflection onto carbon pricing works. We're on track to meet our emissions.
That's complete nonsense.
Government in Canadian history. And Canadians get more money back in their pockets thanks to the Canada Carbon Rebate. And
that is absolutely not true.
To help pay their bills and plan their monthly budgets. Meanwhile, the Conservative leader continues to oppose every measure we put forward for both affordability and fighting climate change.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, this Prime Minister, just like his carbon tax, is not...
Hell no, he's not worth the cost.
Tax is already up to 17 cents a litre, higher than he promised it would go. And he plans to quadruple it further to 61 cents a litre. This after it is a proven environmental failure. Canada ranks 62nd out of 67 countries when it comes to fighting.
What are the taxes supposed to do for the climate?
Because what he has is a tax plan and not an environmental plan. Will he stop? Why won't he adopt our common sense plan for technology and not taxes?
Well, I agree 100%. That was well said.
Speaker, if the Leader of the Opposition wants to present an actual plan to fight climate change, we'd love to see it, but he has refused to take any.
Look at all those liberal seals clapping to their master.
He even doesn't recognize
Look at Gilbolt and his little smirk.
costs, which will only keep rising if we don't fight climate change, with extreme weather events and health impacts increasingly impacting on Canadians. Indeed, the Conservative leader thinks it should be free to pollute, and that we shouldn't be giving more money to Canadians through the Canada carbon rebate. We will continue to have an effective plan to fight climate change that is reducing emissions and putting more money back in Canadians' pockets with the CCR.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Speaker, since the Prime Minister introduced his carbon tax on the farmers who grow the food and the truckers who ship the food, it has raised the price on all who buy the food, with a record-smashing 2 million visits to food banks every single year. 50% of Canadians buying food past best before dates. 20% of them have gotten sick as a result of it. The Prime Minister promised that he was going to help the middle class and those working hard to join it. Now, the so-called middle class can't afford food and homes. Is that what he meant by help?
Brutal, man.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, according to the Parliamentary Budget Officer, 8 out of 10 Canadians, middle-income and lower-income Canadians primarily, do better with the Canada carbon rebate that lands in their bank accounts 4 times a year because of the price of
We all know that's a bunch of baloney.
about affordability and supporting vulnerable Canadians. He'd be standing up to support our measure on dental care, which has now delivered dental care to 30,000 vulnerable seniors across this country already in just a few weeks. He would be supporting our initiatives to help families. He'd be supporting our initiatives to help with childcare.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Oh, we have to do this all over again. With
He's too dumb to understand.
Parliamentary Budget Officer produced a report. I'm going to read the title so that he can Google it right now.
As if Trudeau would actually read something.
The Parliamentary Budget Officer's report on the distribution of costs and benefits under the carbon pricing program. He can look at page 3. Where every single province that has the tax sees middle-class Canadians and 60% of families paying more in tax than they get back in benefits. Why won't he get to know the facts and axe the tax?
Things are getting tense. Pierre ain't messing around today. Let's see how Trudy will respond. Probably a cheesy reply.
Campaign to simply axe the facts. We are going to continue to stand with the science.
Yeah, that was definitely a cringe reply.
Who have all pointed out, including the
I mean, did he really say, axe the facts?
carbon rebate puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 families in the jurisdictions across the country in which it is, and is effective in bringing down our emissions while creating economic growth as we invest in cleaner technology and good jobs and careers for the future. We have a plan for the economy and the environment. He does not.
Sit down, Trudeau. He does have a plan, and he has said it multiple times. Technology.
I know sometimes that members don't like hearing the question or the answer, but I'm asking all members, please, the only one who is standing up to, recognized by the Speaker, has the right to stand up and to ask the question. The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Mr. Speaker, with his comedy routine, I was going to say that he shouldn't quit his day job, but actually, he should quit his day job.
That's got to be the best one-liner I have heard in a while. Good job, Pierre. What's Trudeau got to say now?
Go into number crunching, whatever his next job is, because he doesn't believe the economy is about numbers. And I don't blame him, because if I had his economic record, I wouldn't want to talk about numbers either. But it might help him to go to the library and quietly study just a little bit. Will he commit to reading page 3 of the Parliamentary Budget Officer's report, which demonstrates Canadians pay more than they get back in the tax?
What does Trudeau not understand about that?
Mr. Speaker, the Parliamentary Budget Officer and far many more experts and economists have clearly demonstrated that the money that returns to Canadians through the Canada Carbon Rebate 4 times a year is greater than 8 out of 10 Canadians pay every year with the price on pollution. Those are the simple facts, Mr. Speaker. We will continue to invest in Canadians. We will continue to support with affordability. We will continue to put the best balance sheet in the G7 in the service of Canadians through investments and support, unlike the cuts he's proposing.
Hear, hear.
Okay, Pierre, let him know.
The opposition.
After 9 years, this Prime Minister is not worth the corporate crime and corruption. According to the Criminal Intelligence Service, there is $113 billion a year of money laundering. That's the equivalent of twice the entire GDP of Nova Scotia. And that money laundering, all of it here in Canada, drives up housing costs, it pays for drugs and stolen cars. Why is it that the Americans had to be the ones to catch TD and charge them with money laundering linked to fentanyl? Why didn't our federal government crack down on that?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, this is obviously a very concerning situation. We're making sure that all the appropriate authorities are properly engaged. We know that we need to continue to invest in our national policing. We need to continue to invest in our intelligence services, and that's exactly what this government has been doing and will continue to do. Unlike the previous Conservative government that cut policing, that cut intelligence services, we will continue to be investing in keeping Canadians safe, in countering the rise of organized crime.
That's a bunch of bullcrap. They're not doing their job.
That people are confident about the future we're growing into.
Well, thanks for that, Trudeau. That was a little drama show from our own parliamentary drama teacher.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. Speaker, the Liberal member for Glengarry Prescott Russell used crass language to Quebec witnesses who had come to defend the French language. This is not just a Liberal member. He is also the chair of the Parliamentary Association of the Francophonie, in fact, a diplomat representing Canada. He has only one single choice, and that is to resign. Will the Prime Minister call for the resignation of this member to show respect for La Francophonie?
My fellow Canadians, if you're tired of Trudeau's empty promises and Liberal hypocrisy, look no further than Pierre Poilievre. He's the conservative hero we need, delivering truth, justice, and a healthy dose of humor to the halls of power. Thanks for watching. Peace out.